going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 green Unison cards in the Dragon Ball Super card game. And I gotta say, green gets shit on a lot, and I hate it because green used to be one of my favorite colors in the game. But when it comes to the Unison cards, I feel like green has a pretty good handful of playable Unison cards, and so that made this list a little bit easier as far as coming up with the top 5, but a little bit harder in trying to decide which one is the best. Number 5. Super Saiyan 3 Vegito Peerless Warrior. Now, this one, I wasn't quite sure where to put him because I feel like his -7 ability is fantastic, but the rest of the card kind of seems to be a little bit lacking. So, once returned when you activate Unison skill, you draw a card. Okay, that's meh. Like, that's not good. It's not great. His abilities require your leader to be green. So, the only Unison shit you'd be using with this leader would be the green Gotenk stuff. Now, granted, there are a few other good green leaders, and hitting that auto every turn is not essential. Sure, the extra one is nice to have, but it's not that big of a deal. Giving all your mono green stuff revenge is a good deterrent to your opponent to basically tell them, hey, fuck off killing my shit, or I'm going to kill it too. The -7 is what makes this card so nice, though. You get to look at your opponent's life. Look at it. Then you get to choose one to put it in the drop area. So you're critting them, but you're getting to crit them whatever card you want, and whatever card might help them the most, hurt you the most. Then on top of that, your opponent has to discard 3 cards. That's pretty powerful. And luckily for him, he is one of the 15,000 Unisons and not one of the little tiny 5,000s. So he's got a little bit more defense, a little bit more power to back him up. And that's why I feel like he's a solid 5th place. But I really couldn't give him any higher than that. Number 4. Vegeta Resolute Agent of Destruction. Now, this seems at first glance to be a very specific Unison card. But in fact, it's quite the opposite, and is one of the best Unisons, in my personal opinion, out of all 5 colors. First of all, 20,000, and he comes equipped with Double Strike and Critical. That's pretty powerful. The only thing really holding this card back, in my opinion, is the specified cost of 4. But he makes up with that for all of his other abilities. Like I said, Double Strike and Crit. When you play him, you can discard a card and choose all of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. So that is a once per turn thing, but he comes in and he just wipes the entire board clean. And that can come in pretty handy. His activate main just gives him an extra 5,000, so 25,000 Double Strike Critical is disgusting. His -5 ability isn't terrible either. If your leader card is Evil Wizard, or all your energy is mono green, you choose 3 cards in your opponent's hand and discard them. So, this card overall is just a more expensive to play, but also a much better green version of the Super Saiyan 3 Vegito Unison. I mean, granted, you still would maybe want a Unison to play earlier, but if you drop this guy, you don't even have to really focus on a battle card at that point either, because you can just drop this guy, and then you've got a pretty solid win strategy going on. I mean, he's already 4 costs, 25, Double Strike, and Critical. He just sounds like a finisher if I've ever seen one. Number 3. Super Saiyan Bardock Paternal Unison. I really, really wanted to put this in the number 1 slot. I really did. Because 1, it's Bardock. 2, this is one of the best looking SPRs we've gotten since Set 9. I absolutely love this card. Specified 2, so you can play him fucking early. Anytime your opponent combos during either turn, you can send that card or one of the cards being comboed to the drop area. So once returned during either turn, you can slowly build up card advantage against your opponent. His +1 lets you KO one of your guys and then make your opponent discard a card. So between that and its auto with combos, then they're going to lose cards fairly quickly, or they're just going to be forced to take more damage. The -3, on the other hand, is not great. 5,000 and triple attack is but triple attack and 20,000 does give him a solid ability to either hit a few things on the board if your opponent's trying to go wide, or smack up your opponent's Unison a couple times, remove a few markers from it. So, super solid card, and again, I put my bias aside just to order these cards. Otherwise, if I had a choice, Bardock would be in the number 1 slot for sure. Number 2. Bio Broly Giant Force. Now, you guys know I do not like Broly, especially Dragon Ball Z Broly, especially Bio Broly. Because at least the first movie, you're like, oh, okay, he's doing his Saiyan thing, and then whatever, and okay, that's fine. But I hate this monstrosity of goop. Now, the card, on the other hand, is a completely different story. Specified cost of 1, 9,000 power, which is an odd number, but they're doing a lot of stuff with that now. But what's great is you can discard him whenever he leaves your Unison area. Play him back from your drop area with a marker. That is clutch. And granted, he only has specified cost of 1, but you don't have to waste the 1 energy to play him. That gives you more energy to be able to +1 to increase his marker counter for his second ability. His first ability is not bad either. Just discard a card, draw a card. So no card advantage is lost. You get some deck thinning, searching for your combo pieces, and filling your drop area if your deck revolves around it. That -4 ability is super solid as well. And I like it better than the Vegito, because the Vegito is a -7, and that's a lot harder to get to. Especially in this guy here, it's only -4, but you choose 2 cards your opponent has to discard, and then he goes up to 25,000 with dual attack, which is insane, and gives you either 2 really good attacks, 2 really dead battle cards, or you can remove 2 markers from your opponent's Unison with him. So, really good card, and hopefully with him being a Giant Force rare, he will look pretty badass. Number 1. Dark Broly Overwhelming Evil. Now, if you guys thought I hated putting a Broly in top 5, I really hated putting a Broly above Bardock. And then I really hated Broly having both the number 1 and the number 2 slots. But this card is so good, though. Specified cost of 3, 20,000 power. He's got double strike. Once per turn, your opponent has to discard a card if they remove one of his markers with a skill. He has no minus abilities, so you're not going to end up killing him yourself, that's for sure. His +2 lets you discard a card, makes your opponent discard a card, and kill one of their battle cards. So you're both going down in card advantage, but your opponent's going down a little faster than you are. His 0 ability just lets you remove a marker from a green Unison. So that one's not terrible, but I would just overall just use the other one. I mean, granted, unless you had no cards in your hand, you could still use the ability. So if you were to play this on, say, turn 3, and then just start doing your shit right then and there. Once you attack, you've got a Broly with 5 markers on it, and that's just going to keep going up. So really, it wasn't as much a tough call as far as card abilities as to what order to put these in. It was a tough call just because I didn't get to have a really solid, cool character like Bardock in first place, but also because a character that I don't care for at all, and neither of which these Brolys are the Dragon Ball Super Broly, the one I actually somewhat like, have to take the first and second slot. So it feels really weird for me to willingly put them in the top places, but I gotta give credit where credit's due, and these are fantastic green Unison cards. Alright, well that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite green Unison, and where do you think green stands as a color in the metagame. As a whole, it feels like it's lacking, but when it comes to good Unison support, I feel like green has solid options and just has most of their bases covered in that aspect. But let me know what you guys think. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get the frick out of here. And we'll see you guys in the next video.